Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You are listening to Namely 90s. This is Andrew. Over there, we've got Brandon, who is oddly silent today, apparently. And anyway,
I waved at my microphone or camera. Excuse me.
Please find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter at namely90s with a 90s. So we continue through the month of August, but this time we're looking at August of 1999. Brandon, what do you got for us?
All right. August 1999. The only non-TV video game, movie, or music thing I have is Mark McGwire becomes the 16th MLB player to hit 500 home runs.
Also, while juicing so hard.
Yeah. Well, because remember that I think 98 was the year that they had the run to beat Roger Maris's record.
Yeah.
And that's 60 home runs in a season.
Meanwhile, the only person who wasn't cheating was Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, and he ended up with like 48 or something.
Exactly.
Which is disappointing because I was rooting for Griffey. They were closer back during the middle of the year, I want to say. In TV, we have Digimon Digital Monsters airing on Fox Kids. Rocket Power airing on Nickelodeon, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire premiering on ABC. In video games, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the PS1 coming out. The N64 came out early the following year. And there's some contention to whether it was released in August on the 31st, because some sites said that it was released September 29th.
Wait, the Nintendo 64 was released this late?
No, the Tony Hawk. You mean games on the N64?
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you said the N64 was released. I was like, that's kind of late.
No, the N64 release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh, okay. Yep, got it.
Yeah, which I had. Came out the following year, but we don't cover the 2000s for some reason. So,
not yet.
Yeah, 105 episodes from now.
Yeah, that's right.
In the box office, we have The Iron Giant and The Sixth Sense coming out on the 6th of, August.
That makes sense. The Sixth Sense.
As well as The Thomas Crown Affair. There were a lot of movies released in August of 99. None of them I remembered anything about, so I didn't include them. And on the Billboard charts, we have Genie in a Bottle being number 1 all month by Christina Aguilera. And then for the 4th week of August, I have number 3 being Summer Girls by LFO. Number 5 is All Star by Smash Mouth.
Love me some Smash Mouth.
Number 9.
Super underrated.
Oh, yeah. Also, didn't they get popular again because of Shrek?
Yeah, probably.
Was that them?
Yes, it was. They did a cover of the Monkees' I'm a Believer. It appeared in the first movie.
Yeah.
I'm a Shrek-spert, just in case you were wondering.
A Shrek-spert.
No, that's probably a thing. I'm not one. I'm kidding.
Well, you probably don't know this, but Shrek became a giant meme in the mid-2010s.
Really?
Yeah, they this really weird, super deformed Shrek would show up in video games.
Shrek meme.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Oh my gosh, that thing's terrifying. With the messed up teeth.
Yeah, there you go.
Gosh.
And if I remember correctly, like they linked it to the Illuminati and like that era of internet memes.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's one with like Shrek, like Will Smith and Shrek combined.
Just type Shrek Illuminati for a second and see what you get.
I would love to. Shrek Illuminati. I can't spell, but geez, with the triangles of your eye. Okay.
So it would be like the X-Files theme, and then they would go to the triangle, and then Shrek would like
so
do
pretty
a jump
much
scare.
Anywhere a triangle occurs is immediately related to the Illuminati. There was one that said hashtag Shreked. This is fun.
Number 9, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys is somehow still on the charts. Because wasn't it on the charts a year ago?
Wasn't that a different one?
Let me check really quick because I'm pretty sure I just read that in the last episode. It was a Backstreet Boys song.
Yeah, it was a different one. Quit playing games with my heart.
Yeah, you're right. It was Quit Playing Games with My Heart.
I just thought it'd be funny, and maybe they did this, but if there was a version of like Quit Playing Games with My Fart, and then they just replaced a bunch of stuff with fart sounds. That's very lowbrow humor.
I feel like that's something Weird Al has already done. And but I'm not sure. You should Google it. Number 10 is Last Kiss by Pearl Jam. The cover of J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers, I believe. Number 11 is Smooth by Santana featuring
Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20.
There you go.
Good song.
Number 12 is Someday by Sugar Ray. Number 14 is... Wait, do you not remember Someday by Sugar Ray or Sugar Ray at all?
I know Sugar Ray. I might remember it if I heard it, but I don't recognize it by name.
Someday, when my life has passed me by, I wait around and wonder what. Yeah, you are always there for me. When you go, 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 go. I know, never end.
I think we get it.
All things that you say.
Who sings that song?
In the way, Sugar Ray.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I walked right into that one.
Yes, you did.
She's So High by Tal Bachman. I never knew this was by Tal Bachman, but do you remember that song?
She's So High Above Me.
Yep. She's so
lovely. Or She's So Lovely. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that one.
Number 15 is Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And finally, number 19, a song that I believe we just talked about is I Will Remember You Live by Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, the official theme song of the ASPCA to make people open their wallets and start crying in the middle of the night when they're watching cable television.
Yeah, specifically Comedy Central.
Yeah, that's such a buzzkill. Like there's a comedy movie you're watching, and then Sarah McLachlan comes on showing like sad pets stuck on roofs with like flooding around the house. I saw that one. It was like a Hurricane Katrina thing.
My favorite is when it's like it's like 2 a.m, and I have DirecTV, so it's shifted to be like 5 a.m, and then it's like. It just finished South Park. South Park is over, and then they go into a commercial for Adam and Eve, which is the sex store.
Yeah.
Or it's like local singles available to chat, and it's just like clearly a porn star from 10 years ago being like, I'm alone and horny. You should call me Daddy.
And then Sarah McLachlan comes on with ASPCA and is like, for just $13 a day.
You could save these poor girls from
your donation could largely go to defray administrative costs, but up to 3% will help these animals. It's completely ridiculous. For just $13 a day, we can grossly mismanage your money.
All right. So I want to talk Tony Hawk's Pro Skater because this actually ties in. We're being relevant for once, Andrew. Can you believe it?
Yes.
So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 is coming out on September 4th, which will be next week by the time people hear this, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, which is a remaster of the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And based off of the original coding for the PS1, not the shitty remake that they did in 2012.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater GoldenEye.
Well, yeah. So we talked last week about the terrible remake of GoldenEye. In 2012, they had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which was terrible. They did it on a new engine. It was for the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the PC. And the load times were I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which came out, I guess, 5 years ago now, which had some levels from the first game, which is why I got it, because I haven't played a skateboarding video since Tony Hawk's, I think it was Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, I want to say it was called. Yeah, it kind of got away from them.
I guess.
Well, so
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Air Buddies.
Right. Well, so they had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 through 4. Some people think 2 is the pinnacle. I think 1 was the best. Then they moved on to the Thugs series, which is Tony Hawk's Underground, where they had they had a first player or a single player campaign, like a story mode. You became a pro skater, did crazy stunts and stuff. It
sounds so lame.
Looking back at it, it was actually quite lame because the sequel, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, had Bam Margera. This was the era when Jackass was over, but all the cast members of Jackass, Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Steve-O, all those Jackass people.
All those jackasses.
Yeah, they had their own show. There's Wild Boys. They all had their own show on
Wild Boys. MTV. I'm assuming with a Z.
Yes, it was the 2000s. I think that was Chris Pontius. They would go get bit by random things. It's actually a YouTube channel that does that now. Anyways, but not in his underwear. Anyway, yeah, Tony's Thug 2 I thought was terrible. And then American Wasteland. I had those 3 for the GameCube, which I liked, but it wasn't the old game, and it was diminishing returns. Eventually, there was one for the Wii that had a $120 peripheral. That was just a skateboard with no wheels that you were supposed to buy to play with it. Right. Never got that one. But that's what initially killed the franchise. Then they tried to remake it in HD in 2012. That wasn't great. And then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was... the load times were really bad. But I am getting... Next week, I will be getting Tony Hawk's THPS 1+2. Because those first 2 games were awesome. I had mine on the N64. I feel like you came over and played it once or twice. It made me want to be a skater when we were kids, more so than Brink.
Skateboarding and snowboarding were super popular back then.
Oh yeah, I didn't have because your wife really enjoys.
She's crazy good at SSX Tricky, which came out in 2001. Crazy good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember I had the Nagano Winter Olympics N64 game. They had some snowboarding, slalom type stuff. Did I ever tell you
I did find out that it was the Atlanta Olympics that were blown up?
Yeah, I did. I saw that too when I was. If you watch the video version of our podcast, you'll see where I admitted that I was wrong by actually including some footage from the explosion.
Thank you.
From what was that, 3 weeks ago? But yes, I apologize. I didn't realize there was a bombing then as well.
Yes. Just get your bombing straight. Okay.
FBI, I'm just know that I'm going to be researching every American bombing during the 90s for the next
and ordering like 7 tons of fertilizer from the Home Depot, renting a U-Haul.
If I remember correctly, Mr. Beresford taught us that all you need is concentrated orange juice and gasoline. So
was that before or after he committed statutory rape?
Before.
Good. Perfect. Okay.
And not on me, just so that we're clear. So Tournament Pro Skater is, I think, one of the greatest sports, in air quotes, games of the 90s and 2000s. It had a fantastic soundtrack that I think led me to actually liking decent music. Goldfinger was on there, The Offspring, just very aggro, but energizing alt rock from that era. There's also some like terrible music like Deftones and Scream stuff, but overall it was a cultural phenomena at the time. It catapulted Tony Hawk into
phenomenon
because he was probably like the best known skater at the time, but now he's still one of the best known skaters. Can you name a skateboarder right now?
No, are you kidding?
Right.
Skateboarding's so last week. Well, it's actually so 90s, which is perfect.
I think it reached the height of popularity in the 90s with like the X Games. It was a part of the cultural consciousness.
Now the only thing that kids are grinding on is each other, which is sort of a
they're not even grinding on Grindr anymore.
No, I think they're just doing it all on TikTok.
Oh God!
Do you imagine there's like a porn version
of TikTok?
What do you think it would be called?
Of TikTok?
Yeah.
I think I know where you're leading me right now. So,
all right.
No idea.
You know,
do you want to say it?
No, we won't.
I want to talk about Digimon Digital Monsters, which I know you know nothing about.
Not really. Sounds like Pokemon. I sold it when I worked in Toys R Us temporarily. That's all I can remember.
So do you remember what Digimon were then?
Were they like sprites or something?
Yes. Okay. Well, so remember Tamagotchis, and I'm sure we'll get to those at some point in the podcast. But Tamagotchis were a cultural thing in the 90s. They were Japanese. They were these little egg creatures with like a really crappy screen, and you kept them alive. And
if they pooped, you had to clean it up.
Yeah, and then they banned them at school because we were caring for our Tamagotchis too much. It was a virtual pet. And then Digimon, made by Bandai, they were both made by Bandai, but they were like, oh, boys aren't going to like those Tamagotchi things. They were wrong. And they made these aggro Digimon things, which were square instead of an egg. And
the funny thing is the Tamagotchis ended up being a good thing because of all the teen pregnancy that occurred in our generation.
Which allows them to care for their own child.
Yes, you have to clean up the poop. It's critical.
Slap that one on a shirt.
Yeah.
So Digimon was the boy version of Tamagotchis, and then the Japanese made an anime out of it, which then Fox was like, okay, let's make that and let's take it and dub it into English, because Pokemon was the rage. The anime, I believe, came out the year before, maybe 2 years prior.
So good.
Yeah. And so I remember making fun of this when I was hanging out with you. I'd be like, oh, it's just like a knockoff of Pokemon. Like, come on.
Well, you secretly loved it.
I secretly loved it. It was...
That's okay.
It was a fantastic show. The first season, which to people that watch Digimon is known as Digimon Adventure. It was... where's the stuff I wrote down about that? So what made the original series great was that unlike Pokemon, which was very formulaic, and it was like, every episode ends with Team Rocket being beaten, blasting off, and all that
stupid
stuff.
cat.
Yeah, no character development whatsoever. Digimon was slightly on rails still, but in the beginning. But it also dealt with bigger themes and deeper issues like depression and grief. There was some really it was pretty deep for being a kid's cartoon. And then the second series, Adventure 2. Took the two youngest kids from the first season and then added like 3 other characters, and they were all the new Digimon tamers, or I don't know, I'm pretending not to know that they're called Digidestined. And then the older kids are like too cool to help because I think all the kids were in middle school, the main characters, and then the original older characters were in high school, so like bleh. And then after that, they stopped doing it in that stories in that continuity for a while. But for the 15th anniversary in 2015, they released Digimon Adventure Try, which was 6 movies spanning over 3 years, which the original crew from the first adventure were graduating high school. And I was like, too cool for it in 2015, but I watched it earlier this year, the dubbed version, and it hit me in the feels, man, as
right
they say.
In the feels.
And then finally, there's a new movie that came out recently in Japan, and I think they're dubbing it for this fall, called Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna. No idea what that means. And it's like the original characters, because they were our age. The original characters were our age when it came out in 99. They were like 8 to 10. And then this one is post-college. And it's...
The post-college versions of stuff are always terrible, though. I just hope you know that. This isn't Saved by the Bell Las Vegas wedding. This is is the entire premise of the show like them trying to pay off their student loan debt?
No,
should be.
No, but it is them trying to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of their life, and then because they've been heroes for like the last 20 years, and then apparently they're starting to lose. So I watched the trailer. They're starting to lose their connection with their Digimon. And it's really sad.
So time to appear on The Masked Singer.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so I also looked up, there were other Digimon series between Adventure 2 and Try. So here's what they were called. Tamers, which I believe I watched. Frontier was so bad I couldn't watch it. Data Squad. Fusion. Digimon Fusion, and then the final one was Digimon Universe App Monsters, which I didn't even know existed.
I'd rather go back to the Air Buddies thing, frankly.
Well, I think you'd be able to figure out the plot better, because all the subsequent ones that I mentioned didn't exist in the original universe.
Got it.
Yeah, they were all alternate continuities, which was... Yeah, it's kind of like the Power Rangers. After they stopped serializing it, it was like, oh, new people. Do they exist in the same timeline? Do they not? Has Earth just been terrorized for millions of years? But I just thought, and then Digimon, they rebooted the original series this year after the movie came out, and it's called Digimon Adventure, and then there's a colon. So it's like... Is it the original? I don't know.
Is there do they call things that are like a prequel but for TV a preboot?
No, but we could coin the term now, and then in 5 years we'll be like... So
preboot, coined. Shrexpert. I'm going to claim that one.
Yeah. I think you can claim both.
Thank you. I will.
But yeah, so they rebooted it, and because there's this thing where when you watch the original series, the reason I didn't watch the movies is because they didn't dub them until later on. And when you watch something as a kid, watching it again in like 20 years later, you want the dubbed voices. You don't care that it makes more sense in Japanese or.
Wouldn't you rather just learn the entire Japanese language?
I mean, I know some Japanese, and I can also read subtitles.
Kazuna means, whatever that is.
Yeah, I have no idea what Kazuna is.
Kazuno? I want to look it up.
Kazuna, Kizuna. It might be a proper noun.
Oh, yeah. Virtual YouTuber. I don't know. Whatever. It's a yeah, I don't know. Lost interest.
Yeah, Digimon. I would recommend it. It was actually a good series. Second one, But that brings me to, I have nothing else prepared for this, so I was going to read hit music lyrics from the songs that we had earlier and see if you could tell which song it was.
Okay.
So give me 1 second to pull that up. Do you remember the slurry of...
No, I don't remember the names.
Good.
Oh, crap.
Where are those bloody lyrics?
Bloody lyrics.
All right, so... Yeah, I like it when the girls stop by in the summer. Do you remember? Do you remember? When we meet last summer, New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer.
Is this the LFO song?
Yes, it is the LFO song. Good one.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. We were out on a date in my daddy's car. We hadn't driven very far. There in the road, up straight ahead, a car was stalled, the engine was dead. I couldn't stop, so I swerved to the right. I'll never forget the sound that night. The screaming tires, the busting glass, the painful scream that I heard last. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good.
Oh, Pearl Jam. There it is.
Yep.
Oh, it took me a minute. I couldn't remember the name of the song.
It was Last Kiss.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm impressed I knew that one. I know the song. I've heard it in your car a million times.
Yeah, that's true. I am a Pearl Jam fan. Man, it's a hot one. Like yes, 7 inches from the midday sun. Well, I hear you whisper and the words melt everyone, but you stay so cool.
It's Smash Mouth, might as well be walking on the sun.
Nope. My Muñequita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa.
Smooth by Santana, Rob Thomas, Matchbox 20.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, not bad.
That album was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. She's blood, flesh, and bone. No tux or silicone. She's touch, smell, sight, taste, and sound. But somehow I can't believe that anything should happen. I know where I belong, and nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. And the next, because she's so high.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
High above me, or where she's so high.
I think you lost that one because I got to the.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
This one I don't think they'll get.
Challenge accepted.
Well, unfortunately, there's no way to not get it unless we go through the entire thing. Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All.
Scar tissue.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about the fact that it starts with the. Yeah. All right.
That's what we do around here.
One more, I guess, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. Hey,
do you have time?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. I feel like I've been locked up tight for a century of lonely nights, waiting for someone to release me. You're
Genie
licking
in a bottle.
Damn it.
You say licking?
Yeah, she says, you're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way.
Whoa, this is almost as bad as the Sophie B. Hawkins song.
Yeah, originally I was just going to read that whole thing, but I figured you guessing what it was would be better. Maybe one more.
Sure, let's do it.
I think you'll get this one. Somebody once told me
the world is
gonna roll me.
Gonna roll me.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yep. That's
she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L
on her forehead.
Yep.
Yeah.
The last one I have is
that would be All-Star. Yeah, All-Star.
Yep. Starts with I will remember you. Will you remember me?
Yeah, it's time to go home and watch some ASPCA commercials.
Yep.
And donate just $37 a minute.
How do you remember? Like, I do not remember that acronym at all. It's the ASPCA. It's the American Society for the Protection or Care of Animals or something. It's like the United States' largest humane society. Nonprofit. Yeah. I should know that. Remember to have your pets spayed or neutered.
Yes.
So I think that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Find us on Twitter at Namely 90s with a 90S, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at Namely Andrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. You can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, ACPCA, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts at. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew. This has been Namely 90s, and we will catch you next time.
For just $7 a day, you can support Namely 90s. Okay.